Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the TACTO TAC-1-3. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing this Smil SL8007, and Grogu is wearing my Addie's Dive MY-H2. I was telling Grogu how the death of Padme Amidala was similar to the tragedy of Anna Karenina. He said he didn't know who that was. I said, haven't you ever heard of Tolstoy? He says, sure, it's that movie with Buzz and Woody. All right, let's take a look at the watch. It comes in this travel case. Now, if I was you, if you're ever going to use this as a travel case, I would get some foam rubber or something to put in it, because otherwise it's not going to be a very good travel case. So here it is. This is the first Tacto on my channel. I chose it due to the fact that it looked a bit different than the typical sub-clones on AliExpress. If it is an homage to something, I don't know what it is. This is clearly a dive style watch and not a diver's watch, as it could never pass ISO 6425. This watch comes in 3 different colors. There's also a blue and a green. There are also 2 other strap choices than the mesh bracelet I chose. A rubber and a leather is also available. The watch is 42.9 millimeters at the bezel, 51.2 millimeters lug to lug, 13 millimeters thick, has a 24 millimeter lug width. Yes, you heard that, 24, not 22. And weighs 120 grams on the supply mesh bracelet. The bezel is a 72 click unidirectional. Yes, you heard that right, 72. I've never come across a 72, but it clicks 6 times between each index. And you can barely feel the clicks. I'm sure you can't hear them at all. I can't even hear them. And there doesn't seem to be any back play. It's just, like I said, you can barely feel the clicks. So it's more like it feels almost smooth. We have an aluminum insert and no lume pip. And as you can see too, we just have baton indices on the bezel and no numbers. Then if you look at the dial, we have the Tacto name up top. Then on the bottom it says 300 meters. Well, that is a lie. This watch is only 50 meters according to the AliExpress ad, and I believe the AliExpress ad more than I believe this. There's no way a $20 watch is going to be a 300 meter watch. Then it says superlative chronometer. It's also another fib, because it says officially certified. To be a chronometer, to be officially certified would cost more than the cost of this watch. Plus, I think you can only get certified if you're a Swiss watch anyway. So that's another fib. Then if you look at the indices, we have dots and numerals. And a date at the 3, no border on the date or cyclops. Then you have this chapter ring with minute markers. Then you have your typical fence post hands. The hands are loomed, and the lollipop on the second hand is loomed. The second hand hits the marks a lot, and it's far enough away from the minute markers that if it does miss them, you can't really tell. So if you have the second hand OCD stuff going on with you, this watch won't affect it that bad because it just doesn't get that close. The crown is an unsigned push-pull. Once again, you only get 50 meters. You do not get 300, so you don't get a screw-down crown. One nice thing though is the crown action is really good. When you go to set the minute hand, it's not all loose and floppy. And when you press in the crown, you don't get a minute hand jump, which is great because usually on these cheap quartz watches, that's the worst thing about them, is minute hand jump. This does have a Japanese movement, unless they're lying about that. The crystal is mineral glass, sticks up above the bezel just a little bit. Doesn't seem to be much reflection or anything. You're not going to get sapphire on a watch in this price. It was in the low 20s. Then the case is a chrome plated alloy. As you can see, it's shiny everywhere. Not a solid stainless steel watch. And if you look at the case back, that kind of confirms it, because it says stainless steel back. Because if it ever says stainless steel back, that's a pretty good tell that the rest of it is not stainless steel. Then also, looking at the case back, instead of a screw down, you have 6 screws in it. So I don't know why they did it that way. That seems annoying. Changing batteries is going to be a pain, because you have to get out a tiny little screwdriver and take out these 6 screws and risk losing them, which is one of the reasons why I didn't open it up to look at the movement. I don't want to deal with that right now. But it says Japanese movement, and due to the crown action, I believe them. The mesh bracelet has quick release. It's always nice to have quick release. But the bracelet itself is fairly thin, and it does bunch up a lot. So you can see lots of creases of it bunching. So sometimes too, it just gets all bunched up. Then the clasp, instead of the traditional mesh bracelet clasp, which is adjustable, it has a magnet here. So it sticks to the clasp there. The good thing about this, it makes it infinitely adjustable. The bad thing though is it's a magnet, and sometimes it can start bunching up on itself, because it'll be attracting parts of the bracelet it's not supposed to attract. And I did have one instance where, with it coming loose on me, of course I still had the blue on it, and I think once I took the blue off, it's never come off again. So I think that fixed that. Then the bracelet too, it's huge. Look at that. This is it, fully expanded. I could probably get this over my wrist without, yeah, see, I can get that. So yeah, you could wear this watch if you have a really big, huge bodybuilder wrist. No problem there. So I guess that's one nice thing about this bracelet. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. As you can see, it's a big watch, but I can pull it off. But once again, look how much bracelet I have left. So yeah, I don't think it's possible to have a wrist too big for this bracelet. I could probably wear this over my biceps. Here's the watch on a leather strap. This is the only 24mm strap I own, and it's brand new and it's not broken in. And boy, is it stiff. But yeah, it looks nice on leather. With hindsight, I'm not a huge fan of the mesh bracelet it came on, and I think I would have preferred this on the leather. So you might want to consider that if you pick this up. Here we are in the lume room. There is no lume pip, so even if it did have the 300 meters claimed on the dial, it would never qualify as a diver's watch. As we speed up the time, we see that the lume isn't bad. The hands are much better than the indices, as it should be. I would rate it above so-so and at least call it decent. Not bad for a 20-something watch. What do I like about this watch? Well, I like the looks. It's nice to have something that doesn't look like a sub-clone. I like the wearability. It fits nice and flat on my wrist. And I like the fact that there's no annoying minute hand jump when setting it. And the lume really isn't that bad for a $23 watch. What are my gripes and groans? Too many fibs. Don't say certified chronometer on the dial. Don't say 300 meters water resistance when there's only 50. No lume pip. And the magnet on the clasp can get annoying. And this case back has 6 tiny screws, making opening it a pain. Do I recommend this watch? If it wasn't for the 2 major fibs on the dial, I would say it was a no-brainer. Really good watch for the money. I can forgive the chronometer claim because a Quartz watch is as accurate as anything you need. But I can't forgive saying 300 meters when you only get 50. So I can't recommend this watch just because of the fibs on the dial. Now, of course, if you're okay with the fibs on the dial, then I think you'll get a pretty good watch for the money. Well, thank you for watching my review of the TACTO TAC-1-3, and I will be back with another review. I don't think I have anything arriving soon. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.